Hey everybody, this is Jeeps here. I'm your old composer here at the World Music Reaction and Review channel, and continuing my journey through the anime OST world. What I'm beginning to figure out and understand that's so wonderful about this journey is that, I started this channel wanting to be more globally organic to listening to music compared to my heavy metal channel. And still, there's heavy metal from every continent and every language that I'm experiencing on that channel as well. But in this case, the journeys have taken me from beautiful, eloquent classical pieces to the heavy metal pieces to a hybrid fusion, EDM, classical EDM metal, and all kinds of different compositions from composers around the world. And just somehow this just all is coming together on this channel. So it's all about the journey you guys put me on with the suggestions, like this one. This one, it was suggested to me, the name of the game, because I did look it up and go, is this a game or something? It's called Kingdom Hearts 3. So I looked at the trailer. You guys have been telling me that I should at least try to find the trailer so I can get an idea. Excuse me, I got an allergy. And the name of this track is Dive Into Hearts, D'Estate, Third Inception, and this is by the composer Yoko Shimomura. So I look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for your support, even if it's just liking, comments, sharing it amongst other, OST fans and stuff. That's super cool beans. And, if you see advertisement here, it doesn't monetize the channel, so if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, the links are down below if you want to check out the headsets I'm listening to. Super powerful studio monitors, headsets, but very inexpensive, and they've been around for a while. These are called AKG240s. The link will be down below. All right, guys, let's do this. From the game, Kingdom Hearts 3, from the composer Yoko Shimomura, this is Dive Into the Heart, D'Estate, Third Inception. All right. All right, very haunting, very dark, very pulling at the soul. There are a couple things that are going on here. I have choral background. My grandfather in Argentina was a choral composer, very successful. Matter of fact, found some schools covering his music. It was very cool on YouTube. And myself, I was 3 years in choir and stuff, and studied in part of my studies as a composer as well. There's a couple things happening here that's making this such a daunting piece. In its simplicity, now I mean that in a very positive way. Being able to pull emotion out with the unique uses of voicings, no pun. If you're a musician, you know what I'm talking about. But these are the notes within a scale that you use to either pull darkness out of you or joy. There's different ways to voice it. There's the dissonance that she's using that's absolutely beautiful, that causes this kind of refracted tension, if you would. But one of the super powerful things is that she's just with one note, da, da, you know, that piano. It's just keeping this kind of haunting, just reminder of the darkness of whatever this is being played against. This must be a pretty heavy scene in the video game, that pens it, boom. But something that's really super cool about this piece also as well is, did you see me go like this? In Hawaii, we call that chicken skin. Some people call that goosebumps. I don't know wherever in the world what you call it. But I got that in the most simplest way. What I mean by that is, once again, I come back to the simplicity of it. What happened was she introduced this one high line. That was like the fifth, I think it was. This one high line, that very high string note that came in that just kind of makes you go, oh, geez, it kind of pulls at you. But there's also a through note. That is the root note, if you would, through these changes. So it's da, da, da. I think that note right there is the one that goes all the way through. And she meanders the other arrangements in between that. And sometimes there's a couple notes that are very dissonant. They almost sound like it doesn't work, but it does work, but it works because it makes you go, And now we're getting into a place, it seems, where she's introducing the male parts of the choir to give it a little bit more of a, I don't know. I want to say, I mean, in my mind, I'm kind of imaging, somebody walking a coffin, kind of walking a coffin through the fog and the rain as they're going to it. But this is absolutely beautiful. I realize this is 7 minutes, so I'm going to let a nice chunk of this run again to give respect to the piece of track before I break in again. Who knows? Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just wait till this ends. So I just got through saying how soft and eloquent and everything in the chorals and the heaviness of the pose. And then she drops this on us. This was an absolute great maneuver. Once again, don't know what it's playing up against, but all of a sudden as the power comes in, she starts the anxiety and the intensity of everything with that bottom pulse of like the lower brass section. So that could be the trombones, that could be the French horns, that could also be the tuba, setting that boom, 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 boom. Something to listen for back there too, as you listen to this, is the tuned timpanis that are supporting that as an accent. We're so used to a quantized world in music that we have, us, or the pure listeners, including myself, you get used to everything just being so spot on, the beat. But in a live orchestra and stuff like that, that sometimes has to be brought forward by other instruments that have more of a spiccato velocity, if you would. They can really go, really hit hard, One of the things that you do to accent that, to kind of bring that, to tighten that in the milliseconds, would be the tuned timpanis. If you go boom, 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 da, da, da. And the snare is also used at times to also kind of lock that in, if you would, just by virtue of the human nature of playing. Not saying that any one of the instruments in an orchestra can't play. Of course, we've heard it all. But when it comes to, it's locked into a tempo with other kinds of arrangements, you can kind of get used to that. I love how she starts to also building these arrangements and stuff. You may have seen me react when she brings in another kind of a second level melody that comes in and out that doesn't necessarily carry through the whole thing as a melody that's taken over. So at this point, she's now building these arrangements, getting heavier and darker. And the key change was great. The key change made it very dark. It made it darker than what that beautiful choral opening had already, set us on that journey. Now, apparently, in the video games, there must be some pretty intense stuff happening, like "I'm going to get you," or something like that. Also, in the choral aspect, now I heard some soprano kind of voices going in the background. Obviously, I can't hear what they're saying. Maybe this is one of those tracks that also has its own language. Maybe you guys tell me. But this is huge. Now we're getting big. Now we're getting, you're hearing a little bit more of the strings now being more accenting and stuff. It's just great. What a way to let us back into the world, right? From this journey with that fade. Now, once again, obviously I understand that I'm listening to this without watching the game. So I'm listening to this as a piece of music, composed by somebody. So I don't have a reference to pull from. And I'm learning a lot about, like video game music, anime, music. Manga? That's what I'm learning a lot about that as well. But in video games, a lot of times pieces of music kind of last 30 seconds and more in certain places because it could be like a reset point or part of a menu or something. One powerful mainstay through this whole composition was the choral vocals. Even when it got, it lurched up into that powerful section, you still had the ambient, ethereal texture that she had set forth at the very beginning and kept it all the way through the whole composition, even as the energy, flexed into the powerful, pulsing brass section with the timpanis and the percussion. I love the flares of piano work that happened also as well in the more powerful section, and how that was also accented with I don't know if it was unison, but with the strings, like if the piano was like, if the strings were doing it, kind of sounded like it, but I was just listening more into the mix of the piano and stuff. And then, of course, bringing it down this way, this was like letting us off the hook from the journey. It's like, okay, all right, is everybody okay? Are we good? Okay. Anyhow, this was great, man. I'm pumped to go through this journey and this experience with everybody. Thank you all so much for your suggestions. I have a couple of special Halo things coming up. I was supposed to do it earlier this week, but I got sidetracked with my daughter's birthday and being a grandfather, 8 grandkids, sometimes you get sidetracked because life happens, and mostly an joyous occasion. And so thank you guys very much once again. Please leave suggestions. Thank you for sharing, liking, maybe not liking, leave a comment, positive, negative, it's all good. I'm learning. I don't know everything. It would take me 10 lifetimes before I could stand on a soapbox and say, I know everything. So you guys helping me on this journey is super cool beans. And once again, if you so feel compelled, then buy me a cup of coffee. The links will be down below, as well as the links for the headsets. And yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day. And the next time I'm back, it's going to be a run on different kinds of Halo tracks, a long show of that. I think you guys will dig that. All right, guys, take care of yourself. Have a killer day. See ya.